One of the fun things about having a YouTube channel is designing a logo. Early on, I started kind of messing around with what the logo would be for this channel. Since it's just my name, the simplest idea would be to use my initials. I had one kind of random idea, but then I pretty quickly fell on the concept of using traditional joinery, in this situation dovetails, to make my initials.
I couldn't find any fonts online that were based on traditional wood joinery, so if there's any graphic designers out there, there is a market for you folks. I think it's a great idea. Have at it. You're welcome.
I started doing some sketches, I came up with some ideas that I really liked, and then I started working on a bunch of other stuff, but today I finally got around to making a logo for the shop.
I grabbed a couple of pieces of contrasting colors and rough cut them down to size. I believe this is walnut and pine or birch, I'm not really sure. I traced out the design on the walnut using this little mountain peak as a fixed angle for the tails. After cutting that out with my bandsaw, I transferred the shape onto the other piece for the pins. I finished cutting those and slammed them together for a dry fit. It didn't have to be perfect and they fit together just fine. It felt a little flat as is, so I grabbed a piece of rough sawn wood to use as a mounting board and background. I thought it would be fun to handsaw the lumber with my little handsaw. Oh Jesus, this sucks. I got about this far before I felt like an idiot, and so I just ended up using my jigsaw to finish out the cut. I secured the piece and got to jigging. Jugging? I cut it with my jigsaw. Now, here's an idea I had a while ago that I finally got to try out. We finished out a bottle of ketchup, and I thought this might be the perfect thing to use to apply wood glue. I was listening to a metal mix, and the pour finished in perfect timing for me to rock out to the intro to Battery, offering me a perfect moment of metal zen. The ketchup bottle idea ended up working perfectly, and if you appreciate that tip, I would appreciate it if you considered subscribing to the channel. Quid pro quo at its finest. I tossed. Nope. I gently placed some weighted objects onto the top of the piece for 20 minutes while it dried, for good measure. Here's the finished piece. For my first go with this concept, I couldn't be happier with the way it came out. I look forward to pushing this idea a little bit further somewhere down the road with some blockier pieces. I've got some ideas on how to make it a little bit more dimensional at the end of the day.
Now that this is all done and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out, I have the option of putting a finish on it. I have a couple of finishes that I bought and some that kind of came along with some other gear, but I haven't used any of them. If you folks have any suggestions for how to finish this out, leave it in the comments below. Maybe you think I should just leave it raw because that better represents where I am in the beginning of my woodworking journey. Either way, thank you for subscribing. I got all sorts of links in the description below, and we'll see you in the next video.